This week, I'm in Jupiter Inlet, Florida, with my mate Dingo in the US of A.
Nope, I got one.
You got him on. I'm here to catch America's answer to the mighty barramundi, the hard-fighting snook. I get to jump in and compare weight with a manatee. You reckon it'd be fatter than me?
Yeah, I think he's got you beat, mate.
And discover a magical underwater wonderland. I'm hoping to land a big snook in just one day. But the odds are stacked against me with chaotic boat traffic. Got you be more worried about the other boats running over you and stuff?
Yeah, he's getting out there a bit.
And I'm losing bait, left, right and centre. All right, try another one. Oh, you're kidding, that's two that have come off. Fishing is my life. It's in my DNA. From above the water and below the surface. It's who I am. Join me as I travel the world in search of the most insane fishing experiences on the planet.
You got it.
Oh, man!
Big fish right there, Al.
Yeah, baby!
The storms are going up the ramp.
Look at the size of it.
How good is that?
I'm Al McGlushan, and this is Fishing with Mates. This week, I've travelled all the way from Australia to Florida in the United States of America. We're going fishing for snook in Jupiter, Palm Beach County, an hour and a half north of Miami. Jupiter Inlet sits at the entrance to the Indian River, part of the Intercoastal Waterway. It's all about water sport, and it seems everyone has a boat. Most importantly, the fishing is amazing. So when it comes to fishing, you meet some amazing people. You know, there's guys that are gun fishers, there's characters, and then you've got a bloke called Dingo. Now here we are all the way in the US. We've come to ICAST, we're meant to be working. And what do? I run into Dingo. Obviously, he's an Aussie. Like, with a name like that, there's no doubt about it.
And I see this bloke, I'm like, I couldn't believe it. That's Al McGlushan. I know him. I seen him, must have been 18 years ago in Australia is the last time I seen you.
After humble beginnings in Harvey Bay, he's now over in Jupiter, Florida, running his own guiding service. He's gone almost full circle. So he's gone from big marlin and stuff like that, gone all the way back round to catching the American version of barra, the snook. I've caught snook a couple of times in my life. I love them. They're an absolutely amazing fish to catch. Woo!
Next minute, we're making plans to go and fish.
We've only got one day, but we're going fishing. Dingo, how are you, mate? Good to see you.
Great to see you too, mate.
How good is this? When he said he had it ready to go,
Just drop it in, mate, and let's go.
put this puppy down. Dingo's always full of surprises. You meet at the dock with his own little elevating ramp thing that just goes down and puts the boat in the water. That is cool as. You just press the remote.
Yeah, mate, I don't even have to get out on the dock.
How good is this? Man, that is launching with style, I tell you. Now with Snook, I keep getting it wrong, so there's only a small slot limit that you can catch them, and for the rest of the year, they're catch and release only. So it's one of those amazing spots that just seems to have a really strong population of snook.
If you're looking for a giant snook, this is the place to come. There's other areas that have them, but not as many numbers as what's here.
So guess what? The fishing's insane. There's heaps of snook around, they're everywhere, because the fishermen look after it. This is so different from somewhere like Australia. We have marine parks where they lock it up, no one can go near it, no one can enjoy it. Tell you what, I love Florida, and I love fishing close to home. We drive out the front, it's a mile to the heads, and he's apologising because it's such a long run. How many baits do we really need? Sort of a couple of dozen or
Yeah,
something?
a couple of dozen would be nice.
So we caught a heap of bait, then we turned around and went straight back to the inlet to start fishing. So we're back to a mile from where we started. How good is this? There's a couple of guys just next to us, and I'm talking 20 feet away, and they're sitting there. As soon as we pull up, bang, they're on. And they pull up snook like that, like a proper one. Well done on your fish, a nice one, eh? If there's ever a sign that this is good, that's the way to start. So the technique we're doing is we're using the sinkers on there, we're casting in against the edge of the rocks, they're drifting down. The problem is, when you're using those, you know, little circle hooks, you've got to sort of lob your bait out because they come off. They came off.
Was that your bait?
Yeah, I just think my bait just came off. I was watching the wrong way. As you said, you need extra baits for dumbasses. I'm flicking them off left, right and centre. All right, try another one. Oh, you're kidding, that's two that have come off. It's just in front of the nose, eh?
Yeah, just back in the, like, near the, not too far from the eyeball.
Yeah, I'll put it right on the eyeball then.
Thicker part.
And you can see Dingo just like looking over his shoulder going, how many baits is this bloke going to throw over the side?
Well, you know, maybe it helps. The live chumming, you know, sometimes it's good to throw a couple freebies in there and get them fired up.
I did a short lob. I was too scared of losing another bait. You know, live baiting is the best way to get the big ones. That's why we call it live baits.
The more that bait swims around natural without anything there restricting it, the more likely you're going to trigger a bite in that situation when it's harder to get a bite.
It's still a really exciting style of fishing because it's all finesse, you know. You're flicking the live bait up against the rocks, letting it sink down, and with the current, then it drifts out in the sand, and then all of a sudden they pick it up. The bait is bounced still on the bottom. Then suddenly, Dingo's hooked up. Oh, yeah.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
I don't know what that was. That was bizarre. Something might have just drifted into me too.
Dingo misses one, doesn't he? And I'm about to give him grief and tell him, you know, he needs to learn how to do this. This is not a marlin. This is not a big fish. This is finesse fishing. And then I hook up. This is how it's done, Dingo. How's the bite on that? Then I pulled the hooks.
Oh, no.
I'm glad I kept my mouth shut. For once in my life, I kept it shut. What'd I do? Just gave him too long, you reckon? Or?
Find out when you get back.
Oh, that was a good bite too. What I really love about the snook is that it is America's answer to the barramundi. I've caught a few snook in my past. They look similar, they behave similar, they fight unreal, and they're just as damn hard to catch as barramundi. So we're back into fishing and, you know, it slowed down a little bit. Then all of a sudden, Dingo's got one.
Nope, I got one.
You've got him on. Oh, yeah.
Solid one. Yeah, I got the first solid hook up and it took off into the current out in the middle of the inlet.
God, you'd be more worried about the other boats running over you and stuff.
Yeah, he's getting out there a bit.
Coming up, Dingo's battling the boat traffic just to stay attached. How's that? We're fighting a fish and he's pulling at 20 knots. We're in Jupiter Inlet, Florida, famous for the state's biggest snook and busiest waterway. God, you'd be more worried about the other boats running over you and stuff.
Yeah, he's getting out there a bit. Still a bit nervous. You want to keep the rod tip down and keep that water, that line angle down. We've got some 60-pound fluoro, so a big snook will wear through 60. So you've got to, you know, if you've got too much, you have a lot of heat on them, so.
So they've got sort of raspy mouths and stuff like that as well?
Extremely raspy. Just like barras, if you're fishing for real big ones, 80-pound fluoro is the go. If you've got anything that could, you know, circle hook, you got a little bit of that security if you're in the corner of the jaw, as long as you don't get them down deep.
Yeah.
You're not going to be in that, getting chafed up that badly. Fish came back in and made a couple different moves, pull and drag, and you know, put up a really good fight. Just coming underneath you there.
Oh, lovely fish, mate. What a tin ass. But he doesn't just catch a snook, he catches a proper one. Like, we're talking up 34.5 inches, I reckon this one was. You know, it was pretty big. And that's probably 16, maybe into 18 pounds.
Big fish, you need 2 thumbs. They'll shake you off pretty easy with this one.
Look at that, what a beautiful fish, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
Absolutely magic. They are like a barra, isn't it? The Yankee barra.
Yeah, look at the shape of the head, the eyes up on top like that.
Such a beautiful fish, and it's great seeing it swim away. Mate, well done. What a bloody awesome fish.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
How good is it? Like he's across there, he's up there, he's under the boat. You said they fought hard.
Yeah, they pull hard. They're very impressive fish. I love them.
Oh, man. All right, get a bait in. I'm going to catch one now.
All right, mate, get him.
I'll make sure I got some photos for you. So we're back into it. So I've flicked in and I've got him on straight away, like no question. Oh, yeah, look at that. He hit that on the way down. How good is this? Catching up. Look at him go. Man, that was such a good bite. The only problem is this, it's not as big. It's only a little guy.
Beautiful fish, Al.
It's like a barra. Not quite as big as the one we had before. Oh, look at the head shake right there. What a beautiful fish. Look at that. What do you reckon,
mate.
about 8 pounds?
That's right.
8 pounds? Nice fish.
Beautiful.
Oh, I see, and they have got sort of, they can chafe it up and stuff.
Yes.
Look at it, beautiful big fins. All right, we're not going to waste any time because you are too pretty. There we go, buddy. And off you go. Look at that. Go and spawn, big girl, little girl. Not quite as big as yours.
All right, mate. Beautiful.
That bite, and it's straight off in the middle. I'm like, oh, I liked all the boats going past, but now I'm going, oh. Oh, that is unreal. It's only a little guy. I want a big one. I've got to impress Dingo. He's got to see that I'm actually good at this stuff, rather than throwing baits over the side the whole time. It's really amazing, like, you know, all of a sudden we're all on, and then they slow down. What happens is the school's moving around. So it's obviously, it could be over there, it could be over there, but when they come through, and that's probably really important, you want to keep both your baits in the water. So if Dingo hooks up, don't wind your bait in. Leave it in there as long as you can to try and turn a single into a double. Especially when you've only got a few baits like we do.
When you don't have many baits and it's been tough to get bites, it is worrisome they're going to run out. And then in a spot like that where a few boats can actually fit in the area we're in, if we had to leave and go get more bait, we might have lost our spot.
Yeah, that wasn't going to last. And then, out of nowhere, our knight in shining armour rocks up. In the US, you can buy bait on the water. Like, how good is this? Live bait. Not just bait, you can buy live bait on the water.
He pulled over to us and, you know, unloaded a scoop of bait, and yeah, we loaded up with spares, which was nice.
That is unreal. I love Florida. This place is awesome. Now I can throw heaps of baits over the side. They're guaranteed, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome, Matt. You're a champion. Thanks, mate. So, we bait up. Let's hope the fresh bait will change my luck. While I'm hoping, the guys next to us are catching. Oh, it's a nice fish. Look at that. Nice snook. Well done. Oh, how good is it that everyone's all fishing next to each other, but there's all the camaraderie, everyone's chatting away. She's just caught her first snook, you know. Bloody awesome. And everyone's looking after them. That's what I love. It's important to look after these fish because you only get them once. All of a sudden, I see a dark shape in the water. So that thing over there, is that a manatee?
That's right.
Like a dugong.
Exactly.
You reckon it'd be fatter than me?
Yeah, I think he's got you beat, mate.
There was way too much of us. Yeah, I had to think about that. I'm going to go and swim over to it. They don't, like, rough you up or anything, do they, over here?
I have heard that once they find a partner, they mate for life. So, you know, that's a single one, so...
I'm not sure I'm real happy with that, actually. It could go both ways for me. Is a manatee bigger than Al? There's only one way to find out. Dingo, you're right. You catch a fish, I'm going in. Coming up, the million-dollar question. Who is fatter, me or the manatee? I'm in Florida, hoping to catch a big snook, when we see a manatee in the water.
The next minute, Al takes off, dives in the water with his camera, off he goes, takes off after a manatee, and leaves me by myself. Thankfully, I had some live bait there, so I could continue fishing, waiting for him to come back to the boat, of course. Well, I got quiet, but, you know, that was to be expected.
This guy was right up in the shallows, and I've come up next to him, holding the camera down, and you just see this eye open. He just looks up at me and you can just see him go, oh, man. And you know what I thought? Yep, I'm thinner than you, buddy. I'm actually thinner. I feel like I've been doing weight loss at this time, you know? Mind you, he was a big manatee. And then I decided it was time to go and get serious. I need to go and find these snook. As soon as I hit the rocks, I found the mother lode. Like, there's bait stacked up along it, there's batfish, there's snapper, there's all these amazing fish all swimming around. And then I peer down and there's snook. And I'm not talking one or two, I'm talking hundreds and hundreds of snook. It was unreal. While we're doing it, the other guys next to us hooked up, so I swam over to them and filmed them.
Yeah, so here we are, I'm fishing away and I'm waiting for Al to come back. And I look over, and here he is, he swam over to another boat and they've offered him a cold beer, and here he is just chilling in the water with camera in hand and beer in the other, cruising along. And I'm just left waiting.
And eventually I'm getting the word from Dingo. Dingo wants me to catch a bloody fish, doesn't he? So I drink the beer, how hard I work, swim all the way back over, get in the boat. He's unhappy because he hasn't got a beer out of it. I thought it tasted great, but anyway.
There wasn't any beer left by the time he got back. It was gone. He'd gone and guzzled that. No beer for the rest of us, of course.
Straight back into fishing. Now, he's changed techniques a bit now. So we both had sinkers, and what he does, it's really clever. So you have the sinker, but you don't have the sinker free running on the line. What you do is you put a swivel above and below to trap it.
So having a swivel either side of the sinker that's right, in between, it stops that being able to slide. It keeps the bait where you want it in the zone, just a short trace, and keeps it down there. It allows it to swim around enough to struggle and trigger the bite, but not get away from the fish.
We tried two techniques. So we had a flat line on top, so no weight on at all. Pin the livey, flick it in against the rocks. Because there's bait and all that there. The snook are all sitting down deep, they come up, bang, grab it. Worked a treat. The only problem, it was dingoes. Hooked up, yep, got him.
It was making some big screaming runs out in the channel, cutting back in around the rocks. But it all came together and we got the fish to hand, and it was a beauty.
Got another one. He's already ahead of me. Like, this guy's a gun. No wonder he's fished all around the world and catches massive marlin, and he's a gun even at that, and catching snook. Coming up, this is my chance to shine and finally hook a monster snook. Nicer fish, this one. Oh, he's almost the size of yours, mate.
Oh, nice.
We're fishing the infamous Jupiter Inlet, chasing some of the biggest snook in the country. So we're sitting there fishing. I might have missed one or two more, possibly. Oh, I just pulled him. That one just totally took me by surprise. Ah, that had a few teeth in it, I think, that one. Might have been a barracuda.
Yes, very likely that was a cuda.
Dingo's got the light line up on top, so the flat line. He's getting a few bites, there's a few fish in there, it's looking good. I've gone back to the old sinker, the old trusty.
Puts a bait on, puts it out in the water, and next second he hooks a beauty.
And all of a sudden, it's bang, hooked up. That was a good bite.
I seen that, I had the corner of my eye.
I just felt the twitch and I went, ooh, and then bang. This is a proper one. This is a serious fish. The rod's screaming across the inlet, so it's going across the other side. Now, that's normally okay because you just fight the fish. But we're on Saturday. Saturday in the US, that's the busy day on the water. How's that? We're fighting a fish and he's pulling at 20 knots.
Bit concerned, boats are coming through, there's a chance of it getting cut off.
How's that for a backdrop? Do you organise that personally? Catching a big snook is not an easy job. You've got to be on the rod, you've got to go lightly, you've got to go heavy, you've got to really play these fish out. Nicer fish, this one. Oh, he's almost the size of yours, mate.
Oh, nice.
And eventually comes up. I love catching these. Look at that colour on him. Oh, it's a nice fish, that one.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one, mate.
It's a good fish. And it's a proper one. Oh, that is a big fish. Oh, how's that, mate?
Wow, that's a beauty, mate.
What a magic fish. And it came up, thrashed around. Look at it. We're talking. We lift her up on the mat. She's 35 inches. What a magic fish. All right, big girl, come back in here. Now, 40 inches is a metre. That's a metre barra. I'm pretty close. 35, I could chop and change it. That's only 5 off. It's a bloody good fish. Oh, look at that for a release. I'm amazed I even got that fish with all the boat traffic. That was an awesome fish. Like, you see it when it comes up, it's flaring up, it's going over there, it's going back, it's diving under the boat. And when you lift it up, the actual weight of them, it's like a barra. It's like, oh,
Solid.
it's a solid fish. What an awesome day. I finally cracked my personal best snook after losing a few baits along the way. It was great to fish with Dingo after all these years, in such an amazing place where everyone loves being on the water. Florida is 100% fishing your home waters. I mean, I don't want to harp on it, but you think about it. There's more people in Florida, just in the state of Florida, than the whole of Australia, and yet the fishing is insane.
So it's been 18 years since I fished with Al, and what a blast to catch up and you tell stories and be out in the water, and it's no different than it was back then. It was just the same, and so happy that he was able to catch some really nice fish and spend the time on the water with him. What a blast.
That was an awesome day. Thank you so much. How good is it we just bump into each other after bloody 20 years ago? Let's make a plan. We're
good.
going fishing.
Yeah, awesome, mate.
Man. Finally come all this way and catch this amazing fish, and doing it with your mates, that's even better. You know the best part? I caught the biggest fish.